Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Alternative Angle, the show where we look at things another way. I don't know why I keep saying we. Really, it's kind of just me. Anyway, today's topic of conversation is spy family and why I am obsessed with everything about it. Buckle up. Spy Family is the story of a spy and his transition into becoming a family man. This show has the classic setup of a romance novel in that we meet Twilight, the man that casts no shadow, a changeable, faceless spy using his abilities to secure national peace for Westalia, no, the world, as part of his latest mission, Operation STRIX. Operation STRIX hinges on the murder of one Donovan Desmond, who only shows his face at very exclusive events at his child's school that only children can attend. Well-adjusted children whose daddies aren't spies. Just like a romance novel, our main character is set up as a jaded spinster who's given up on love. The hook is, instead of our protagonist being jaded about love as a romantic ideal, Twilight has rejected the idea of familial love and belonging. Much like the matron who, through personal trauma, has given up on love for herself in favor of becoming a governess, a person with no household of their own who teaches young women how to properly run houses, so too has Twilight, growing up orphaned in a war-torn world, given up on the wholesome, loving normalcy of familial affection in favor of creating a world where children don't feel the separation from familial love that he was forced to endure as a child. After establishing the bruised but not beaten, secretly loving nature of our protagonist, Twilight is then immediately forced into a confrontation with the very person, or in this case people, who will take his carefully crafted illusions about his capacity for love and shatter them. Donovan Desmond only shows up to school events. School attendees are children and the parents of children. So it was that our spy found himself searching for a child. Anime got an anime, so this child ends up being a ridiculous goofball obsessed with all things covert and spy-related, who just so happens to be a telepath. The school won't take mere single fathers, and so the mother of this plot, a cinnamon roll filled with secret murder, with no wifely talents to speak of, finishes the skewed family picture with aplomb. It is, in a word, perfect. It is these two people who will show our ersatz romance novel protagonist the meaning of love. The plot hinges both around the ongoing Operation STRIX, for which Twilight must pose as Lloyd Forger, the doting and completely innocent father to this perfectly normal family, and the ticking time bomb that is this poor, completely unprepared, hardcore spy falling head over heels in love with his wife and child like the rest of us did the moment we saw them. Hint, it does not take long. The heart of the show is in all the moments that come off as romantic and establish character moments between the three people, growing them as characters who we love and, more importantly, who love each other. Our first love interest, in a purely familiar way of course, is Anya-chan, our child. Anya, aka Subject 007, is on the run from whatever science facility she escaped from, is a telepath, and can't let anyone know what exactly she is, otherwise the bad men will find her. Because of her abilities, weirdness, and the general horribleness of people, she is bounced around between several orphanages and families only to be returned once more to the uncaring system. What unhinged monsters would not want to keep this perfect child? Our perfect child loves excitement, bond man, and getting into trouble. We can see the relationship blossoming between these two in the small moments and the large ones. We see Twilight genuinely trying to make a real connection with this peanut-loving little monster on several occasions, actually exhausting himself to do so, letting his guard down around her multiple times in genuine moments of vulnerability and fostering connections to real people underneath his and her very necessary lie. Our second major love interest is Yor Briar, aka Waifu of the Year. Yor has been a trained assassin since her youth, something she did to support herself and her younger brother Yuri. According to what we see in the anime, Yor and Yuri seem pretty parentless as kids, and so it seems our best girl took it upon herself to earn money for the family and encourage Yuri to make something of himself. As an adult, Yor has a cover job in an office with some really petty coworkers, who I absolutely hate. But this innocuous seeming life is not enough to remove suspicion from Yor's shoulders. In a fit of egregious pettiness, her office mates convince Yor that the open hostilities raging in Westalia, coupled with the abundance of spies around, have caused the government to take action to ensure that those spies aren't around, by kidnapping people off the streets and questioning them through what is implied to be torture. Being completely gullible and also boyfriendless, Yor sets out to find herself a mate in order to remove suspicion from herself so that she can continue on in her office work and also doing her sometimes murders. No other woman could so effortlessly both fit into Twilight's ongoing narrative and deeply complicate it so much at the exact same time. Yor's relationship with Twilight adds the perfect amount of chaos and just a little grease to our fire, adding just the right amount of romantic tension to layer into the already existing pure cinnamon sugar that is his relationship with Anya. My favorite moment between the two by far is Twilight's proposal to her during a fight scene in a dark alley. This lovely moment is pregnant with romance because it actually establishes a connection between the two real people underneath their public personas. All people falling in love experience this moment where you remove the public posturing and the social norms in order to really and truly connect with the person in front of them, and that is what we see here. Yor looks into Twilight's eyes and he looks back. Both are genuinely attracted to one another because of their actual real skills and passions. Yor thinks that Twilight is delivering the latest in psychotherapy to his patients, but here she is genuinely interested in his technique and knows a bit about impact therapy herself. Twilight, seeing this, is surprised and attracted because he has discovered someone with the possibility of matching his skill set and fitting with him as a person. Their heightened chemistry is fully on display in Season 1, Episode 9 when Yor's brother Yuri comes to visit and must be convinced the two are a couple who are authentically in love in order to protect his sister. Totally not because he's low-key jealous of his sister's new relationship with this hot, cool, smart, considerate guy. Baka. Aside from the obvious joke here, a layer of seriousness and tension is added to the episode because Yuri, in addition to being Yor's judgmental and protective younger brother, is also a member of the infamous secret police and is on the lookout for spies, specifically Twilight as his career-establishing move as an up-and-coming young enforcer. All these complex, dramatic elements overlap into a storyline that highlights the unexplored, unresolved romantic tension between our two leads with side-splittingly hilarious gags. It is character moments like these that truly create a lovable, well-formulated romance between these two very likable characters. In addition to the great burgeoning relationships between Twilight and each of these ladies, they also have a wonderful fledgling relationship with each other. We see the first inklings of this in small details, and we also see young Anya unafraid to use Yor's talents to help her catch bad guys and save people. Yor's feelings for Anya are on full display during her interview with Eden Academy. During this interview, this individual, voted most likely to be jumped by everyone on the internet, asked Anya this question. Causing her to cry. Cry actual tears. On our televisions. This man became everybody's enemy that day, but most especially yours. This woman is ready to break faces and take souls at the sight of one tear from everyone's favorite child. It can only be the start of something good. Not only does Twilight get to fall in love in this romance, each of our protagonists do as well. Moments where all three are together are especially jam-packed with action, complete with blink and you'll miss it plot changes, which are quickly followed up by nothing short of sheer familial perfection. The upcoming conflict here is wondering how Twilight can possibly remain happy with his family while one, they're all lying to each other, and two, he's living a double life. It feels like he will have to give up on one of his lives to have the life he truly wants, which I, and romance novels everywhere would argue, is love. The love of his family. The only thing missing is the dog. So, what do you think? Was this angle complimentary or obtuse? Supplement me with your answers in the comments. The romance novel formula dictates that these three be forced apart by their enemies and then brought back together through the power of love. And I can't wait to see that in the season coming out. And if you find yourself seeing things from my angle, don't forget to power punch that subscribe button and click the notifications bell to make sure you know when we upload new content. So far, I'm a one-woman show, and everything associated with this channel I either directly pay for or do with my own two hands. And I don't have money, so if you like this show, consider donating to my Patreon. Link in the description. I kind of don't know how to say that word. If you want to chat with me or send me ideas, do that. You can email The Alternative Angle or follow my problematic Twitter. Sorry in advance. Thank you all for watching. I'm Alisha, and until next time, stay sharp.